Okay, so today we're diving deep into the world of instrumentation engineering technicians.
Sounds good.
We've got a ton of info here from RoleCatcher.
Yeah.
And you know how engineer designs are like the brains of a project?
Right, right.
Well, I've been wondering who's actually doing the heavy lifting? Like who's making sure those ideas actually work, in the real world?
You're talking about the people who take those designs, those blueprints, and bring them to life. They're the hands-on problem solvers, the ones who make it all happen. Instrumentation engineering technicians.
So it's not just wrenches and wires and like basic tools. Where do these technicians fit into something big? Like if you think about a huge manufacturing plant.
Okay, so picture this. A massive factory floor with assembly lines and machines buzzing everywhere. Instrumentation engineering technicians are the crucial link that keeps everything running smoothly. They build, calibrate, troubleshoot the control systems that make those assembly lines move, keep those machines humming.
So they're not just fixing things when they break. It's a lot of preventative action too, right?
Exactly. They use their knowledge of these complex systems to anticipate problems before they even happen, constantly monitoring, testing, making sure everything's operating at like peak efficiency.
Now, RoleCatcher mentioned some pretty high-tech stuff. It's not just your average toolbox tools, right? What's the tech side of this job really like?
It's a really cool mix, actually. You'll find the classic tools, of course, but you're also working with sophisticated sensors. And then there's programmable logic controllers, PLCs, and even, get this, data analytics.
Hold on, PLCs. Data analytics. For those of us who don't speak technician, break that down a bit.
Sure, sure. Okay, so imagine a mini computer that's controlling a very specific process, like mixing ingredients in a factory, right?
Heck yeah.
That's your PLC. Technicians use those to automate tasks, ensure things are running smoothly, and data analytics. Well, that's where it gets really interesting.
I bet. Everyone's talking about data these days, but how does that apply to hands-on work like this?
It's all about working smarter, not harder, right?
Right. Wait.
So by gathering data from all those sensors, from the systems, technicians can spot patterns. They can predict potential issues. They can even optimize those processes to get even better efficiency.
So it's almost like being a detective. But instead of clues, you're tracking down data points to solve problems.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And it's that combination of technical expertise, but also that analytical thinking that makes it so dynamic.
This is really painting a clearer picture for me. Now, RoleCatcher also mentions the physical demands. It's not all clean rooms and computer screens, is it? RoleCatcher makes it clear it's not like they're sugarcoating it. They're describing some pretty demanding work environments.
Yeah, it's definitely not your average desk job, that's for sure. You could be working on your feet for hours. Tight spaces, extreme temperatures, you gotta be ready for anything.
That's what the hard hats and steel-toed boots are for, I guess. Sounds like you need to be, like, okay with a little adventure.
100%. And okay with getting your hands dirty, literally. But for those who like that fast-paced, always changing environment, it can be really rewarding.
I can see that. So for someone who's thinking, okay, this sounds like me, I like a challenge, what are those must-have skills you need?
Well, RoleCatcher really hits hard on problem solving. You need to be a natural troubleshooter, someone who can think critically and just figure things out on the fly.
So when a system throws a curveball at you, you don't panic, you just analyze and find a fix.
Yeah, you have to have that technical know-how, but also that creative spark, right? You got to be able to adapt, innovate, especially when the pressure's on.
I imagine attention to detail is like huge too. One wrong wire and the whole system could go haywire.
Oh, absolutely. Precision is key. You're dealing with systems where even a small mistake can have big, big consequences.
No pressure, right?
No.
But seriously, you're dealing with people's livelihoods, their safety even.
Exactly, and that's why RoleCatcher also really stresses communication skills. You're always collaborating with other technicians, with engineers, even explaining things to people who aren't as technical.
So it's not enough to be a tech whiz, you need to be a team player. Communicate clearly.
It's crucial, being able to explain what you're doing, documenting everything, giving clear updates. It all matters.
Got it. So we've got the skills down. Now let's talk career path. Where can you go from that entry-level technician position? Because it sounds like there's a lot of potential. It feels like RoleCatcher is saying you start as an instrumentation engineering technician. That's not the end. That's like the beginning. It can go a whole bunch of different ways, right?
Yeah, it's more than just a job. It's a skill set you can take anywhere. You get that experience under your belt. You could move into leadership, supervising other technicians, running whole projects, that kind of thing.
So someone who wants to be in charge, they could definitely go the management route.
For sure. And if you're someone who loves to, like, really get into the details, there's tons of ways to specialize. You could be the control systems guru, process automation, even industrial robotics. That's a whole thing.
Okay, now that's what I'm talking about. So
Ugh.
climb the ladder or become super specialized in something you love. There's a lot of options.
A lot of options, yeah. And who knows what the future holds? Tech is always changing, which means new specializations popping up all the time. It's a field where you can really, I don't know, kind of make your own path.
Okay, but RoleCatcher is also honest. It's not all, robots and cool gadgets. There are downsides too, right?
Of course, yeah. We talked about the physical stuff, but it can be mentally demanding too. Deadlines, tough problems to solve, got to make sure it all runs smoothly. It can be stressful, no doubt.
And then there's always something new to learn. New tech, new systems. You can't just learn it once and you're done.
Right. Exactly. If you don't like to learn, it's not the field for you. But if you like a challenge, like a fast pace, and you aren't afraid to get your hands dirty, and I mean that both ways, then it can be really, really rewarding.
So not for everyone, but for the right person. It's a great career. So let's say someone is listening. They're like, sign me up. How do they actually get started?
RoleCatcher, they're big on hands-on experience, internships, co-ops, even just shadowing someone for a bit, just to see what it's really like.
Because reading about it is one thing, but actually troubleshooting a PLC, calibrating a sensor, that's got to be totally different.
Totally. And then when it's interview time, RoleCatcher had some good advice there too.
Okay, yeah, because that's where it all happens. What kind of questions should you be ready for?
Be ready to talk about programming, troubleshooting, but not just, yeah, I know how to do that. Give specific examples. How did you solve a tough problem? What did you learn from it?
So show them how you think, not just what you know.
Right. And know the industry standards, safety regulations, that kind of thing. They want to know you take that stuff seriously.
Safety first, for sure. That's huge in any technical field. What about staying up to date? This industry changes so fast, they must ask about that.
Oh, definitely. Be ready to talk about how you stay current. Maybe mention professional organizations you're part of, certifications you're working towards.
So it's not just what you know now, but that you're always learning.
It never stops. That's part of the fun.
This sounds like the perfect career for someone who loves to tinker, fix things, figure things out, and just never stop learning. Thanks for taking us on this deep dive. I feel like I learned a ton.
Happy to do it. It's been fun.
And for everyone listening, here's something to think about. As technology keeps changing, so will the role of the instrumentation engineering technician. What new skills will be needed? What new opportunities will pop up? Think about that if you're thinking about this field. And until next time, keep those brains working and keep those questions coming.